Hey, what's going on, guys? So we just got a new update for Lost Castle 2, and this one is very much the kind of patch that quietly makes the game feel better the next time you load in. The first thing that stands out is the online verification change. Basically, online multiplayer rooms can no longer be created if the game is running offline or if platform verification fails, while LAN multiplayer still works the same way. That is a pretty important change because it closes off some of the messy edge cases that can lead to bad online states or players slipping into rooms the game was not really ready to handle. In plain terms, they are tightening the rules for online play so matchmaking and room creation behave more predictably. If you mostly play with friends over LAN, this should not affect you much at all. A lot of the rest of the patch is about stopping repeated or duplicated rewards from happening in ways that probably should never have been possible in the first place. The notes call out cases where settlement screens could keep popping up after reconnecting, cursed treasures could be gained repeatedly if you interrupted and resumed the flow, and chaos treasures, weapons, or armor could also show up over and over again. That kind of stuff might sound funny on the surface, but in a roguelite, it can wreck the balance fast. If a reward loop breaks open, suddenly the whole run stops feeling like a run and starts feeling like a loophole. So this part of the update is really about protecting the core game loop. There are also several very specific weapon and skill fixes, and these are the kinds of things that players who main certain builds will notice right away. Turbo Lance got a couple of corrections, including one where it could wrongly spend pressure during Forbidden Parchment when Magic Turbo was active, and another where the Cannon Fighter inscription could branch into a smash action if you pressed normal attack right after a cannon block. Soul Shards were missing their blade waves during flashing blades after skill activation, and Phantom Lantern had a couple of issues too, including its weapon UI not switching properly after leaving riding state, and Nightmare Puppet sometimes summoning only one puppet when it should not have been doing that. So if you are the kind of player who sticks with one weapon and really learns its timing, this patch is the sort of thing that can make your favorite setup feel way less janky. The update also fixes some broader animation and sync problems that would have been way more noticeable in multiplayer. Arcane Mech riding had an online sync issue that let some emotes happen while riding and caused odd animation behavior, which sounds like one of those bugs that turns a normal session into a weird little circus. Thunder Spirit could also turn invisible during certain actions, which is the kind of bug that makes enemies and teammates both question what just happened. On top of that, Blade of Soul had abnormal power charge slash effects, and the Soul Inscription screen had a preview frame that was too small, so it could not show everything properly. These are the kinds of fixes that do not always sound dramatic in a patch note list, but they make the game feel cleaner moment to moment. And then there's the last chunk of the patch, which is really the safety net section. The developers say they attempted to fix crashes that could happen with perfect guard and single-handed weapons in special cases, freezes from rapidly repeating certain pickup actions, motion state transition errors, abnormal states on some characters and weapons, and even a progression lock where players could not talk to the weapon master. That last one matters a lot, because getting stuck in progression is the kind of bug that can totally kill a session, especially if it happens in multiplayer and no one knows how to recover. They also mentioned that some special multiplayer cases are not fully fixed yet, but fallback handling has been added to avoid hard locks for now. So this feels like a patch that is trying to keep runs alive, keep multiplayer stable, and keep the game from tripping over its own systems. So yeah, this update is not about shaking up the whole game. It is more about sanding down the rough edges, closing duplication holes, cleaning up weapon logic, and making sure online play does not fall apart over strange edge cases. For a game like Lost Castle 2, that kind of maintenance patch matters a lot more than it might look like at first. When the systems are this interconnected, one weird bug can spill into 5 other things. So fixes like these usually have a bigger impact than the notes suggest at first glance. And that is exactly why this one feels important, even without a huge feature attached to it.